Shindo 7, the ceiling. No level above it exists. At 4:27 p.m. on July 28, 2026, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake hit Kumamoto Prefecture in Japan. A shopping mall exploded. A cargo train derailed. At least 50 people were rushed to hospitals, but the number that stopped emergency responders cold wasn't 7.1. It was the other number. And most news reports never explained what it actually means. Here's the thing most earthquake coverage skips entirely. When a major quake hits Japan, you see two numbers. The 7.1 is magnitude. It measures total energy released deep underground. Think of it as how loud the blast was at its source. The Shindo scale is something else. It measures how violently the ground actually shakes at the surface, where people are standing. Japan built its own system because magnitude alone doesn't tell you what it feels like to be on the ground above it. Shindo runs from 0 to 7. At level 5, furniture moves. At level 6, you cannot stand. Level 7 is the top. There is no level 8. It is by definition as bad as the scale goes. That's why teams braced for the worst before they even reached the site. At Shindo 7, reinforced concrete cracks, elevated highways split, and roads buckle mid-traffic. Every one of those things happened in Kumamoto on July 28. NHK reported at least 12 collapsed houses. Cracked roads spread across the region. Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi confirmed power outages, fires, and bridge damage and urged residents to evacuate immediately. But the image that defined this earthquake was the Aeon Mall in Kashima City. The quake triggered a blast inside the structure. Part of it collapsed. People were trapped. A local police source told TBS broadcaster there were a lot of deaths, but confirmed it would take time to confirm the exact number. One person was already confirmed killed when a house collapsed during the quake itself. Kumamoto sits on the island of Kyushu, inside what geologists call the Pacific Ring of Fire. Roughly 90% of the world's earthquakes occur along this belt. Japan sits where the Pacific Plate, the Philippine Plate, and the Eurasian Plate all converge. One of the most seismically active points on Earth. Japan's early warning system sends alerts to phones, televisions, and public speakers within seconds of detection, sometimes giving residents 10 to 30 seconds before shaking begins. That margin can mean the difference between standing in the open and being buried under a ceiling. But no warning system stops a level 7. It only helps people react faster to something that cannot be prevented. The 72-hour window after a major quake is when survival outcomes are largely decided. In Kumamoto, that window opened immediately. Search and rescue teams moved toward the Aeon Mall. Power outages complicated coordination. Road and bridge damage slowed emergency vehicles. Aftershocks were expected. Weakened structures that survived the initial event can fail under a smaller follow-up tremor. Japan's disaster response is among the most organized in the world. But organization has limits when a mall collapses. 12 collapsed houses, a derailed cargo train, cracked highways, power failures, and fires all hit simultaneously across a region that just recorded the highest shaking level on the national scale. Subscribe if stories like this are what you came here for. Japan has been building its earthquake systems for generations. Strict codes, early warnings, evacuation drills, and on July 28, 2026, a Shindo 7 still collapsed a shopping mall in Kashima City. That's not a failure of preparation. That's a measure of what level 7 actually is.